Kendra joins us on SicEm365 Radio. Kendra, thank you very much for your time. So this is something where you've kind of had to wait and watch, and it's late in the summer. What was the timeline with Baylor? And obviously, Nikki Collins, Tony Green, and Tari Cummins and company. Can you kind of help us get to where you got to Baylor?
Yes. Well, I was in between. Well, I really wanted to make my decision within a week after getting released from Marquette because I wanted to get on campus soon for workouts, and I was in between OU, Texas Tech, and Baylor. And really, it was kind of hard trying to, build a short relationship within time. But I just seen Coach Nikki's style of play and where I fit in, and it was just the best opportunity for me.
What best matches up with her style of play and your style of play?
Really a fast style of play, and just as how she coached in the WNBA, I really loved how she managed her team.
So, Kendra, when was the first time you heard from Coach Collins?
The first time was probably a day after I was released from Marquette, because I wasn't able to talk to any coaches until I was released.
Yeah, and you had committed to them, and I think Coach Duffy. There's the connection to Coach Green as well with Tony Green, and he joined the Baylor staff. How much of an impact did that have on you?
It had somewhat of an impact because Coach Green, he has been in contact with me since he's been recruiting me from different schools. Every school he's been at since I was in the 6th grade. So it was really kind of a trust thing, but I really liked Coach Duffy at Marquette, but Baylor had a better opportunity for me because it was closer to home within everything that happened within the last year.
What was your experience playing for your mother at Harding Prep?
It was good. I get that question asked a lot. Actually, it's very. I think it's better for me because she knows what I can do, so she put me in the best situation. And I also play with her in the summer, so that was my first time playing with her.
Is it more difficult to be a coach's daughter? You hear about that sometimes with various sports. Can she be a little bit more difficult with you and maybe push you a little even harder?
Yeah, I feel like with coaches' kids, they push you even harder because of what they know what you can do than other athletes.
Kendra Gillispie,
but it was a bit harder, but it wasn't as hard. It's not super. It's not hard.
Yeah. I would think it's comfortable knowing that she knows. You said she knows you, and you mentioned what has gone on in the last year. And I obviously on your Twitter timeline, you lost your father a year ago in May. Can you kind of describe what role he had, obviously, in your life and missing him the way you do?
Oh, yeah, I lost my father last May on Mother's Day, and it was pretty tough for me. And we had a best friend relationship, and so he wasn't the type of dad that so we had a best friend relationship. He wasn't the type of dad who was at the games just on me because I had my mom and my stepdad who was going to do that. He was just the motivator for me. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty hard this year, and it still is. Some days are harder than others, but just pushing through.
So tell me about your love of watching Grey's Anatomy.
I actually got into Grey's Anatomy when COVID was when everybody had to quarantine, we couldn't really leave the house. And I watched the whole 17 seasons, which is pretty funny to me because everybody was like, I don't see how you can watch that many shows. It consists of the same thing. And I'm just I don't know. I mean, it's very interesting to me. So that was a funny thing to me.
I think the great thing is that you could have gotten a TV show that only had 3 seasons, but with Grey, it's just it just never ends. You just get more and more and more and more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel because I'm a Law and Order fan as well, and I've watched all those episodes, so I could continue to watch those if I see it on TV. And everybody's like, what is up with you in these long seasons? Like, it's just a consistency, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so who's your favorite? Because Law & Order, they changed, teams and all that. People new people come and go. Do you have a favorite team of Law & Order or cast of Law & Order?
I'll have to say the first cast with like Elliot and Olivia. I watched SVU, so I watched Law & Order SVU. So it was like Olivia and Elliot and all of them. The newbies, they were okay, but I like the old style better.
So I saw some video. I don't know who it was, but somebody did post some video of you, and you were going against somebody else who's very highly ranked and up and down the court, scoring a lot. But it seemed like to me that, Kendra, you have the ability to play outside, but also physical enough to go inside. How would you describe your game?
I would describe it versatility. So as a kid, I was always taller than everybody, so I was always stuck in the paint. But as I got to high school, like my freshman year, I really didn't grow too much, so I started working on ball handling and my shot more, and then that's when the versatility came in play.
Yeah, because we saw you hit some shots outside, saw you go inside, go up even under traffic to go up against, lay one up and not worry about that. So Baylor's got, right now, I guess with you being added now to the roster, there was 8 players that were practicing right now. They had some attrition with the coaching change. How much has been said to you about what you have an opportunity in front of you? Because there is going to be a need, and I'm sure you're there to go to Baylor, not just to sit and watch, but to be a part of it as well.
Yes. So, like you said, it's 9 of us now, and I haven't really met with the girls or any of that, but basically, my goal is to come in and earn some minutes and learn from Melissa and Queen and just pursue from there.
You mentioned you wanted to be able to get on some campuses. Did you get a chance to visit Baylor?
Yes.
What was that experience like?
They were actually my first visit.
Okay, what was that experience like?
It was actually a good visit, especially since I wasn't able to take any official visits being with COVID last year. I wasn't able to take officials. So I was able to take 3 officials this year, which was Baylor and OU. And with the short notice that I had, Baylor actually was a great visit for me.
Now, you hear about when players have visited Baylor, not just with those who they're going to play with as possibility on a team, but just the atmosphere itself, and that it's really very down to earth, and it's more like a family. Doesn't mean they don't have that at other campuses as well. Did you kind of feel that same thing yourself?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Did you?
It kind of went in and out.
Yeah, you hear a lot of players who come to Baylor, and sure, they're going to say this because they're at Baylor, but you feel like it's kind of a part of a family. It's not just an athletic department or a basketball team or whatever, that you feel the full meal deal when you're there at Baylor. Did you feel that same kind of experience? And if yes, kind of describe that if you don't mind.
Yeah, it was very family-oriented when I took the visit. The players could see the bond there, and the coaches, especially being that they were all new coaches, I could see that the players really enjoyed Coach Nikki and her staff. And even outside of the basketball atmosphere, the fans, they were cool. When I was going to my hotel and they noticed that I was on the visit, they were really nice about everything, very family-oriented.
And you've had to overcome a couple of things physically, but not really bad. You had a bone contusion to your knee, your shoulder strain when you were younger. You were able to get through all of that. Your toughness level, and where did you learn that from?
I had to develop a different mindset when I hurt my knee last year, because it was like a partial tear in my posterolateral corner. And that's where the bone contusion came from. And I was out basically my whole junior season. And so it was really a mindset thing, especially with injuries in athletes. You just have to develop a great mentality, because those type of things can break you.
Yep, no question. I saw where you played for the Lions Elite in OKC in Oklahoma City, and that was Jason and the Jason Terry Lady Jets. Is that Jason the Jet Terry that played for the Mavericks for a long time? Have you met him?
Yes, he was actually my coach.
Oh, okay. What was that experience like?
It was a good experience. It was different for me because like I said, I've been playing with my mom pretty much my entire life. So it was different for me, but I really enjoyed playing for someone else, and especially Coach Jet. He was a good guy and a good coach.
So
he was also funny.
He seems to be a character, man. His personality seems to be special. So you have about a week between now and arriving on campus?
Yes, sir.
All right. Enjoy all that, whatever time you have between now and then, and enjoy it. Soak it up. It's great. It's fantastic you were able to get through the COVID part and find something to watch in Grey's Anatomy, but also overcome other things as well. We're thinking about you, Kendra. Thanks for your time, and congratulations on your commitment to play for Baylor.
No, thank you.
Thank you. That's Kendra Gillispie of Harding Prep, also Jason the Jet Terry's team. And I reached out to him and see if we could maybe get him on to talk about Kendra, but also about what's going on with the NBA and Mavericks, etc. The Lady Bears, by the way, got this from Kyle Robarch. Thanks to Kyle for the setting everything up. Back to school supply drive for South Waco Elementary going on Fridays, July 12th. Tuesdays and Fridays, drop off supplies at the Farrell Center Tuesdays and Fridays between now and August the 4th. Baylor Lady Bears back to school supply drive for South Waco Elementary.
Yeah, and I know a couple teachers, and many of them pay for school supplies out of pocket. They don't get anything from the school.
It's absolutely shameful that we do.
I mean, the way the teachers are treated is ridiculous.
What if you made your doctor buy his own scalpels?
Yeah.
I mean,
but that's what it is. And so, if you can go and help, and I mean, really anything helps. I mean, some crayons, some markers, some colored pencils. I mean, you can buy a lot for not that much if you have the ability to do so. So definitely a good cause there, and no reason why our kids shouldn't have school supplies. I mean, that should be the bare minimum that we have for them, right? So good to have kids back in classes. I mean, that's a good thing after the last year, and let's make sure now that they're back in those classes, they've got the tools to do what they can do, and definitely contribute if you can.
Thank you to Kendra Gillispie of Harding Prep, and now the latest addition to Nikki Collin women's basketball program at Baylor. This is SicEm365 Radio. Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get